and the Ebon Hawk came here.
Apology. My memory core cannot provide a clear answer on that point, Master. Suffice to say that once we arrived at this floating rock, our situation became much clearer.
How so?
Explanation. Despite my market value, Master, the miners were far more interested in you. It did not take long for me to ascertain the reason for this. While an HK protocol droid is a valuable piece of property, Jedi are worth much more in certain exclusive markets across the galaxy. Painful admission. I must confess to feelings of inferiority at the speculated difference between my value and the price for your capture. I was forced to remind myself it was not due to a failing of my model or function, but because you were a Jedi.
How did they find out I was a Jedi?
Surprised answer. Why, I told them, Master. You are the exiled Jedi who served with Revan in the Mandalorian Wars, are you not? I hope all that has happened has not been the result of a miscommunication. If so, then the problem lies with the core word databases, which are notoriously spotty.
Unpleasantness, what were you talking about? He didn't say unpleasantness. That information wouldn't have been in core word databases, only in Jedi archives.
Indignant exclamation. Master, I am only a protocol droid, but it is part of my function to know such information and relay it to any interested parties in the interests of terminating any potential hostiles.
Yes! Potential hostiles, not potential hostilities.
Quick clarification. Apparently my vocabulary has suffered some damage, Master. I meant terminating any potential hostilities.
So what happened with the miners when we arrived?
Answer. All that has happened has been because they believe you to be a Jedi, Master. They debated what to do with you as you lay unconscious in the medical bay. One group seemed intent on selling you as property. The other group opposed this.
Then what happened?
3 standard hours after the division between the miners became apparent, accidents began to occur throughout the facility. A result of improper maintenance, I believe. These accidents coincided with the degradation of the mining droid behavioral cores. Crude models are prone to such failures, resulting in murderous rampages. The mortality rate of organics in the facility rose quickly.
What happened to the rest of the miners?
Many miners began to join you in the medical bay as a cascade of flawlessly timed detonations occurred in isolated gas pockets in the lower levels of the facility. The explosions herded the miners into emergency sections of the station, quickly and efficiently cutting them off from communications and facility control. But sadly enough, not the ventilation systems.
Sadly enough.
You see, the explosions had damaged specific sections of this facility's ventilation systems, causing a slow, lethal buildup of toxic fumes in the dormitory level.
Are you responsible for all this?
Defensive answer. Master, I am a protocol droid, not a well-crafted assassination droid of unrivaled sophistication. To have carried out the actions that took place here would have required an unusual set of skills. It is highly unlikely I possess the knowledge of how to reprogram the memory cores of base worker class droids into killing machines, let alone to terminate the organics at this facility, utilizing only Aerotech 500 series laser mining drills and explosives fashioned from proton missile cores.
Yeah, I think you are responsible.
Admission. I cannot and will not attempt to change your mind, Master. I would urge you to consider that your Kolto tank treatments may have caused some disorientation.
Do you know who administered sedatives to the Kolto tanks in the medical bay, killing the incapacitated miners?
Conjecture. The administration of a large dose of sedatives over a short period of time would likely prove fatal to miners, although not to a Jedi. For a Jedi, it would simply render them unconscious for ease of transport.
Okay.
Quite in inventive?
Those miners were murdered. Oh, is that pride I hear in your voice?
Answer. I was merely commenting on the idea itself, Master, not the execution of the idea. Well, that too was inventive. Besides, Master, those miners intended to murder you, or worse. Any complaints they would have at being murdered would be the highest form of hypocrisy.
I've had some questions. I had some questions for you.
Of course, Master. How may I be of assistance?
What else have we got? What are you?
Proud answer. I am an HK series protocol droid master, skilled in transorganic relations and communications. This model has been responsible for the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities across the galaxy. I am fluent in over 6,000 forms of communication, and am also capable of nuances of expression ranging from irony to veiled threats.
Veiled threats.
Clarification. Oh, yes, Master. Sometimes the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities requires the use of every weapon in one's verbal arsenal.
Yes,
the
just verbal.
unspoken threat of violence to a listener's loved ones, or if possible, their entire planet, can effectively break the deadlock in the most stubborn of negotiations.
What's the translation droid doing on Paragus? We've kind of already touched on that. More questions.
Of course, Master.
Have you seen a T3 unit?
Hesitant answer. A T3 utility droid would be a common sight in this facility. It is indeed curious that I have not seen many since my arrival. However, I feel I must inform you that, droid prejudice aside, T3 models exhibit excessive individualism when not routinely memory wiped. This individualism can become such a nuisance that even a droid such as myself is tempted to reduce them to their base components, if not crush them into slag.
If you've heard him.
Seemingly irrelevant tangent. Where did you leave the droid, Master? That would logically be the best place to look.
The unit was last seen near the hangar.
Answer. Then that would explain why such a T3 unit isn't here, Master. I believe my photoreceptors are functioning adequately enough to verify that.
Something else.
Of course.
I want to get to the hangar. Oh, what's that body there?
Answer. That is all that remains of the maintenance officer, Master. At the end, he was quite incoherent from the pain, and attempts to facilitate communications with him proved useless. I heard his dying screams as the droids he tended turned on him, mining him like a piece of asteroid rock.
Did he screams?
Recitation? Oh yes, Master. The record of his last moments were...
5 droids, burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay. Please, someone! Oh no, they're through! Oh, my leg! They're burning through my leg! Oh, stop! Stop, please!
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life.
Okay, questions. I'm looking for a way into the hangar bay.
Pitying answer. Oh, that is unfortunate, Master. The hangar is sealed behind a containment field. It would be impossible to open it.
Then how did the T3 unit get through it?
Clarifying query. Did the T3 unit go through the door? I regret ignorance of that fact, Master. Although the door could have been opened from the opposite side without much difficulty, a flaw in the emergency lockdown procedure, which the automated systems have most likely corrected.
What about override codes?
Answer. Only the Paragus administration officer would have such codes, Master. If he hasn't already been murdered in an unfortunate accident, then he is trapped in the dormitory section, which has been effectively cut off from the facility by explosives.
Is it possible to contact him using a comlink?
Apology. Unfortunately, communication with the dormitory section is severed, Master. It is perhaps for the best, especially if any other accidents had occurred in that section. If that were the case, the severed comm link would have spared us the satisfaction of hearing the miners' screams as they lived out their last moments in fear and terror.
Satisfaction.
Rapid retraction. Why, yes, satisfaction in knowing their fate, Master. It would be unfortunate if they had been slaughtered, but there would be a calm, comforting certainty that there is nothing we can do to escape until a ship arrives.
Must be a way to reach them.
Theory. You could walk across the surface of the asteroid to the dormitory airlock, but such a route would be extremely hazardous, and I do not wish to see you damaged.
Those miners could be hurt or in danger. Need to make sure they're all right.
Warning. Master, continued exploration of this facility may place you in unnecessary danger. I encourage you to return to the medical bay and wait for retrieval from a vessel that is no doubt on the way, even as we continue this pointless conversation.
I'm going to find those miners and you're going to help me.
Weary resignation. Very well, Master, but there is very little that I can do. You see, the airlock is sealed by a code.
Right, so how do I get the code to the airlock?
Correction. Oh, I already possess the code, Master, but I am afraid that it will do you no good.
What do you mean?
Condescending explanation. Master, the console governing the droid maintenance area and the airlock is voice-printed music. In the last days of his life, the maintenance officer was quite careful about voice protocols, bordering on paranoid obsession.
We do have his voice, though.
Conjecture. I suspect once he realized something was wrong in the facility, he voice-locked the droid bay functions. A prudent measure, but in the end, he met the same fate as the rest of the organics.
Voice printed.
Explanation. Yes, Master. Many consoles have voice recognition sensors built into their systems so that only selected individuals can unlock them.
And you said you already have the code.
Condescending explanation. Oh, yes, Master. The code is Maintenance Control Voice Print ID R1B5. But unless the maintenance officer speaks the code, it is useless.
You can mimic the voices. Can't you speak the code?
Objection. Master, to commit such an act would be in violation of the ethics programming most droids are believed to possess. I am afraid there is nothing that can be done.
Oh, go for the pride. Well, I understand if your limited functionality prevents you from mimicking the maintenance officer's voice accurately.
Irritated objection. Master, there is nothing wrong with my communications functionality. I will prove it. A recitation. Maintenance Control Voice Print ID R1B5. There. Was that sufficient, Master?
Can you follow me and say that again?
Alarmed objection. Oh, Master, no. I might inadvertently speak such a command near a console and accidentally unlock something I shouldn't. I was merely speaking such to prove to you that I could. It is a trait I'm quite proud of.
So we'll need to find some way to carry your voice then or record it.
Confused query. I am sorry, Master. Were you speaking to yourself?
Other questions?
Of course, Master.
Never mind, I'll be going now. Protocol. Right. Let's go for a wee exploration then. Anything interesting in here? Sonic imprint sensor. With the protocol's droid's help, I've finished work on sonic imprint sensors. I've installed them in the mining droids, but I'm locking up the original here to prevent the other miners from using its ability to record and play back voices to override the droid's voice print protocols.
Greeting. It is a pleasure to see you intact, Master.
Intact. Upgrade items. So, environment underlay. No, because I don't think I'm going to be using that regularly. Anything I can craft. Oh, this is the stuff I craft, isn't it? View items I can break down. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure which one I would want. Oh, that just gives me one component, I think. Do all of these just give me the one component? View creatable. So ranged, I don't really do melee. These are just upgrades, are they? Field survival pistol. Longsword, but I've got a vibra sword, which I think is better, isn't it? Shields. Okay, nothing overly useful there. So we'll just record HK then.
Greeting. It is greeting.
How can you play the maintenance officer's last word? Oh, no, I don't really want them. Okay.
Listen, of course. Condescending music.
So do you already have those? You can persuade and sonic sense. Sonic sense. If I understand. I understand if your limited functionality prevents you from mimicking it.
Irritated objection. Master, there is nothing wrong with my communications functionality. I will prove it. A recitation.
Maintenance control voice print ID R1B5.
There. Was that sufficient, Master?
Yes, I think that's all I need.
Confused query. I am sorry, Master. Were you speaking to yourself?
Oh, never mind. I'll be going now. No, not level. I don't know when it'll pop up without needing level. T3 M4. Come on. Yeah, nothing overly exciting, please. Why not you? Oh, it just wouldn't work. Okay.